This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by your local York and LG dealers.
Well, are you doing just about everything you can to stay warm today? Winter is definitely here and the snow is definitely helping to prove that. Jimmy stopped by Henderson Mechanical in Seaford to find out some of the best ways to reduce the impact on your home and your wallet.
And even more important than the snow, the temperatures that are coming right behind the snow, bitterly cold tonight. So with that thought in mind, how are we going to be able to warm the house and not pay an arm and a leg for it? Come on over here. I want you to meet somebody. This is Dan Henderson with Henderson Mechanical in Seaford. Thank you so much for talking to me this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Boy, this cold weather is something we are really going to have to battle with. I've got some questions for you. I'm going to start with a heat pump because I've got one and I know there's certain things about it that have me confused. When it gets bitterly cold like it's going to tonight, I begin to think, this thing's not working. Do I need to call somebody?
Not necessarily. The heat pump is designed to work. There's always heat in the air, so it's designed to work, but as it gets colder, it reduces its capacity and you need some help, some auxiliary heat.
So it's not going to kick out as much warm air as it might if the temperatures were a little higher up.
That's why you have an auxiliary heater, and most are electric.
Okay, so when it comes to auxiliary heat, what exactly does that mean?
Auxiliary heat is an electric heater that supplements the compressor when it's too cold outside for the compressor to do it alone, and uses it to satisfy the set point on your thermostat.
Okay, and I'm going to have to pay more for that, obviously.
That type of heat is more expensive than just the compressor alone, yes.
Okay. Well, now there's some utility companies that have their peak programs, and they ask you to try to not use heat, your dishwasher, et cetera, during these peak times. So, is it okay for me to just drop that thermostat during those times and then bring it back up again?
Be careful dropping it down and then raising it back up, because when you raise it back up, you will cause the auxiliary heater to come on quicker, and then you will burn more electricity.
So I'm defeating the entire intention there, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right, now, let's talk about outside. Is there anything I can do with the unit outside to make it run better?
Oh yes, just make sure that there's no leaves or no lawn furniture piled up against the unit to make sure there's good airflow. The top is free so that air can get through the system.
Airflow is better. What about inside?
Inside, you would want to make sure that the single most important thing you can do is check your air filter.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that you have to replace it, but you should check it to make sure there's no dirt or dust buildup.
That return air is a really important part of the entire system, isn't it?
It's crucial to have good return air so that you can have good supply air.
Dan, let me ask you this question. Now, we've got our bedrooms upstairs. My boys are always complaining when they close their doors at night, it gets terribly cold in there, and I'm trying to show them the thermostat in the hallway says you should be fine. It's not just about the thermostat, is it?
No, many homes have a single return system like yours may be, and with a single return, the door, when it is shut, will block supply air from getting back to the return. So you may have to crack the door open to achieve better temperature in the room.
Or just get them another blanket, huh?
Another blanket might be helpful, yes.
Okay, so we're talking about heat pumps. What about all electric? What about gas or oil?
Gas and oil, you may be able to have a little bit wider fluctuation in the thermostat to help, but I wouldn't go so far as to have it down too low where you didn't have any comfort, because you don't want to freeze or burst pipes in your house.
But it is possible we can make it all work and not pay as much.
You can reduce the impact to your wallet, yes.
Dan, thank you so much. I appreciate your time this afternoon. So there you go. You've got some very simple answers to your questions when it comes to heating your home when it turns cold. Now, if you'd like to know more about what Dan just had to say, all you have to do is go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab.
And another way to save some cash when it comes to this bitter cold is by making sure your pipes don't freeze and burst. That's one mess that can cost you a lot of money. So how can you avoid it? Well, Angie Hicks from Angie's List says, first, locate all exposed cold water line pipes in your home. These pipes can be in your basement, crawl space, and garage. Angie says make sure you only wrap cold water lines because hot water lines may melt the insulation you use to wrap the pipes. If you do wrap your hot water lines, Angie says you need to make sure the product you use is made for it. You can use polyethylene pipe sleeves or heat tape to insulate your pipes. Both can be found at most hardware stores. You may also want to open your cabinet doors under sinks from time to time. Angie says this allows warm air to come in and raises the temperature of nearby pipes. It's also a good idea to run hot and cold water at a trickle, especially when temperatures are very cold like this week. Running water through your pipes will generate heat and prevent freezing. Now, if your pipes do freeze, Angie says time is of the essence. Make sure you know where your water valve is located and how to shut it off. Angie says the faster you can shut off the water and call a plumber, the better chance you have to prevent serious damage. Well, once you have your pipes taken care of, there may be other things in your home that need attention before it's too late. If the list is getting long, maybe it's time to tackle some projects. Up next, we're going to show you how to get your house in order so you don't have to worry about other emergency home repairs at the most inopportune time. And later, maybe your goals have to do with getting yourself in order. Maybe you made a resolution at the beginning of the month. We have some advice on how to turn those resolutions into reality. Delmarva Life, right back.